Hello, I'm Sharon. Most people watching this will know that. Um, and I just kind of wanted to create a video diary kind of thing for what has been happening with my employment in um, in the past week or so. Um, and I'll try to just stick to the details of what happened, the hard facts. Um, so, hard fact number one. I work for the Department of Geography and Geoinformation Sciences at George Mason University since November 2017. And I was hired at kind of an awkward time because of the breaks and everything. However, intermittently, I got to go to some trainings. Whatever Mason had. The trainings were really about policy. There was no real anything else. And on the department level, I expected to be trained. January, we come back from break, no trainings. February, come back, just click on these buttons. That's your training. So I wasn't trained very well. March comes, still not really being trained, just being yelled at. April comes, and I just start to realize, April 2017, y'all, this is just straight up abuse. This is straight up just abuse. This is abuse. This is professional abuse. This is, at its core, harassment, discrimination, hostility, all those awful things. And so I spoke with my supervisor about one of my coworkers' behaviors towards me. And the essence of the conversation was really, Sharon, this person has, earned their stripes in this department, and you're just going to need to work with her. You need to do a better job at your job, and then maybe she will leave you alone. And that was a conversation I had with my supervisor. That was a pride hit at that point. But it is what it is. I can't go back and I can't change anything, or else at that moment I would have spoke with someone higher. And then April kind of comes. I try my hardest. It didn't really work. Supervisor wasn't very sympathetic to it, but hey, sometimes people suck. Sometimes they suck. So my next bet was in May. I tried again. Maybe if you do a better work performance, maybe if you compliment her on her dress, maybe if you do X, Y, and Z, she probably won't be as abusive to you, Sharon. And so I tried that route. It didn't work. Not even in the slightest. Old girl's attitude didn't even change. So at the end of May, I went to end of May, early June. I don't have my notes in front of me to tell you exactly when, but I went to HR Relations in Merton Hall, so Central HR, to basically say, you know what, I no longer feel comfortable at this job. I feel like this is, I'm popular, guys. Hey. I went to Central HR in order to kind of mediate this thing. Because if the two of us are going to be working together, there has to be some level of respect and honesty with each other. Like, we have to have some kind of working relationship, just some kind, where we're not consistently angry. Even if it's not at each other, we're just all, like, I'm not in the mood to be angry 24/7 because of my job. Like, that's just not how it works. So I go to HR and I'm like, hey, you know, this girl's creating this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem. And I'm trying my hardest to work with her and she's just not having it. And HR was really sympathetic to that. They were like, hey, let's get you in for some mediation. Let's do this for you. Let's do that for you. You know, X, Y, and Z. We can help you fix this. This can be worked out, right? And so I leave very hopeful. I'm hopeful at this point. I'm like, okay. And you know what? Even if HR doesn't do its job, there are other avenues in Mason to go to in order to get help. So, yeah, I chose one of those avenues because HR was going to move a little bit slow in real life. So I went to Compliance, Diversity, and Ethics, and I reported her. I said, hey, you know, this person is doing X, Y, and Z. Not only is it discriminatory, not only is it demeaning, not only is it harassment, but it doesn't create a safe work environment. And put the complaint in. Had this long drawn out meeting with them, like, hey, this is what's going on. And yeah, at that moment I was extremely hopeful. That was the week of June 4th. I remember that. By the end of that week was June 6th ish. No, Wednesday was June 6th. The end of that week, I think, was June 11th. No. Calendar time. Okay. I had that conversation with HR on June 6th. I had the conversation with CDE on June 8th. And I left that weekend feeling very, very hopeful that someone somewhere knew what was happening and was willing to help me work through this. Unfortunately, that is not what happened. On June 11th at, I think I looked at the clock, it was like 3:30, Dan Taggart walked into our department suite. 3:50-ish, they called me into Dieter's office, which is my supervisor's office, and fired me. And they didn't fire me in the sense that they looked at me and did a Donald Trump, you're fired. But they looked at me and said, you know, it's not working. It's really not working. And we just think that we should part ways. And at first I was like, oh yeah, okay. Why would I be suspicious? I don't have a reason not to trust you guys. Completely okay with it. They told me, you know, we're going to put you on administrative leave. You know, we're going to help you write a new resume. We're going to help you find a new job, you know, so on and so forth. And I was looking at them like, great, great. You know what? Even on your worst days, it's just 24/7. It's just 24 hours, you know? So they explained to me it's not working. We're going to put you on administrative leave. We're going to help you write a new resume. We're going to get you another job. You know, you're going to be fine. You can collect unemployment. You're good. They give me a form for unemployment. They're like, hey, these are the steps you need. Just go onto the website, you know, file it. You're fine. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird, but okay. Okay. And then they said something really weird. We just need you to turn in a resignation. Wait, what? You want me to turn in a resignation? For what? But I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe we'll turn in the resignation. It's fine. So we let out at like 4:10. I go, I get my stuff from the front desk, and I'm like, let me just take my stuff, you know. Worst comes to worst, I leave like 2 things. It's okay. take my stuff, go home. Tuesday, while I'm at home, I'm waiting for this email that says I'm on administrative leave. I'm just waiting. Are you gonna tell me what's up or not? And so I begin writing my letter of resignation. I'm like, oh yeah, this is fine. But then I start thinking about it, why would I resign? Why would I resign from this position if I haven't done anything and they didn't even tell me why I was being fired? Well, call HR. Call Central HR. Let's kind of clear this up. And they're like, in order to have administrative leave, you have to have a note. I ain't getting no note. I ain't getting nothing. What? So I emailed them and I was like, hey, I'm writing my letter, but I need some quick clarification. I'll be in tomorrow to get it. Wednesday morning, walk into my office, swipe card access, all that great stuff, and sit down at my desk. I begin doing whatever I was going to do. Sam walks by me and she's like, Dan's office is upstairs. And I'm like, yeah, I just need to finish a few things. And, everything's normal. It's as if they didn't fire me or they didn't ask me for my letter of resignation. That's a better term. They didn't ask me for my letter of resignation. This is all isn't happening. Everything's so normal, right? I'm just like, okay. Oh yeah. But, everything's so normal. And I'm like, yeah, next I'm going to go meet with Dan and everything's going to be okay. Everything, as you can tell, is not going to be okay. So this is Wednesday. I go up to Dan's office at 9 a.m. in the morning, chipper AF. Go and I'm speaking with Dan and he's like, yeah, I would totally write you a letter of resignation or a letter stating that you are on administrative leave. But Regina Ryder in HR told me not to write it. I'm like, that's peculiar. Because she just told me differently. Confused. But long story short, Dan's basically like, yeah, just turn in your letter of resignation. All of this will be behind you. And at this point, I'm highly suspicious. I'm like, these kids are a little bit messy. So I decide no, I'm not turning in my letter of resignation. I'm not doing anything. Not until I have in writing that I am on, administrative leave for a while. I'm not doing anything. No. So Wednesday comes, Wednesday goes. Thursday. They still don't give me any letter. They give me nothing. It's as if I was never employed there. There's no emails, there's no nothing, there's no nada. So I'm looking at it like, so they're really not going to do anything. I talked to Regina Ryder, and she's like, yeah, I'll move up your appointment. I'm like, is she acting funny or is it just me? So I started thinking about it. I was like, if I don't have any documentation saying that I am on administrative leave, I'm not on administrative leave. If I don't have any statement saying I'm not supposed to be here, then I'm supposed to be here, according to my work profile. It's word against word. And I know how every lawsuit like that turns out. It doesn't end well. Dude, cops will be like, he had a gun on him. And the evidence will be like, where? So I know fighting with a hierarchy usually means you're going to lose. I'm not dumb. So Thursday night, I write an email. I'm like, hey, if you guys can't provide me a letter stating that I'm on administrative leave, I'm going to show up tomorrow morning at 8:30. And I know I have a meeting with Regina at 9 a.m. So if I don't get in, if something doesn't happen, I just go, I tell Regina Ryder in Central HR. I show up Friday morning, and that video is attached. And I'm locked out of my office. I'm locked out of my suite. There's absolutely no getting it. The sign says to email Sam. And I'm like, okay, at this point, you guys have done enough shady shit where I'm just looking at you like, really? Are you being honest? So all of this was over one complaint, when all you had to do was mediate. So I get to work. I realize I'm locked out. I'm not getting in. What do? I go to see Regina. I'm like, Regina, can you help me make sense of this? Because this is nonsense. Let's agree that this is nonsense, okay? This is not nonsense to Regina. Regina's like, I don't even know why you would ask for them to terminate you. You know what that says on your record? And I mean, she's basically like upset. She's visibly upset that I have told her I'm not going to resign, but they're going to have to fire me. Y'all. Sitting there looking at her like, you're yelling at me. Or she's not yelling. She's speaking in a harsh tone with some dramatic effect, The way that your aunties do when they gather around to play cards. They're not yelling. They're just speaking at a high volume and being hella dramatic. So, Regina says what she says. Basically, is like, this is not a good idea, Sharon. You need to resign. Terminations will last you a lifetime. If you ever want to work for the state of Virginia again, you need to be resigned. You need to resign. And I'm looking at her like, this is not what you were saying last week. Last week it was a kumbaya, let's hold hands. Now it's a, why can't you do what I tell you to? This is a dictatorship, not a democracy. Like, all of a sudden, there was like this really serious shift. And then there's this one point where she's like, okay, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to sit at that computer and write your letter of resignation. And I'm like, am I? Because if you really know me personally, you know that the moment you tell me to do something is the moment I don't do it. The moment! So this girl is like, you're going to sit at that computer and you're going to write this letter of resignation. And in my mind, I'm like, it's nice that you have hopes. I once had those. Anyways, so I'm like, you know what? I'm actually going to go get some breakfast real quick. Let me get some breakfast. You can't stop me from leaving, so. And I'm not under arrest. So I leave the office and I never come back. Later on that day, I write Sam, and I'm like, hey, Sam, today my swipe access card was not working. Please have this fixed by Monday so I can come to work, since I'm not terminated yet, and my position is still current. A couple minutes later, after I write said email, Regina Ryder calls me. I don't even know if you can see that. At 2:37, tells me I'm on administrative leave and not to come to work on Monday. And that she's going to have Dan Taggart write me an email telling me I'm on administrative leave. Y'all, if you could be sloppier, like, this is Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, for God's sakes. Like, this is like watching Scrappy be like, I'm going to put the paws on him. Like, dude. Anyways, so, long story short, that didn't happen. And so now it's Sunday afternoon. I'm deciding if I should go to work. And just so that way, they can't tell me I didn't try. Since they are going to try everything in their power to say, I quit. Tomorrow morning, I will be there at 8:30 a.m. And if somebody would like to come escort me in, so be it. If someone would like to come escort me out, so be it. But dude, This is not okay anymore. This is not okay. This is not okay. No one should ever experience this, much less bullied by your job. Like, I've been bullied by other girls, right? I've been bullied by boys. I've been bullied before. I also have an older brother. He used to fight me. Listen, I'm not scared. I am not scared. If that means I show up to work tomorrow and there's a police officer to escort me out, guess what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay. Because at a certain point, I feel like everyone needs to learn to stick up for themselves. Everyone has to learn that even when there is this power structure that is telling you no, you still have to stand for what's right. You can't co-sign foolishness and ask, why am I having to pay for it? Like, why do I have to pay for the foolishness? I didn't commit it, but you co-signed for it. You co-signed for it. And that's what all of them are looking at each other like, I don't want to have to deal with this. I don't want to have to deal with this. I don't want to have to deal with this. No one wants to deal with me right now. But I'm here. And your best bet is to deal with me. Reason with me. Tell me something. That's it. That's all there is. I'm going to show up tomorrow. Because you know what? At the end of the day, I would rather show up, be escorted off the premises in police handcuffs, have the police report written saying that this crazy girl was on there, and I'm going to point to something, and I'm going to be like, wait, I'm still employed here. Nobody's fired me. Nobody's given me a letter. No one's given me anything. I have every right to walk into that office tomorrow. I do. There is nothing that you have done as an organization, as a power structure, to stop me. It's sad. It really is. It really is. It's Father's Day. Should be enjoying a nice beer. Maybe a nice shrimp skewer. But instead, I'm writing a video that 4 people are going to see. 4 people are going to care about. I'm going to be right here. Tomorrow morning, the next day, and the next day. In fact, I think I'll go live tomorrow morning. So that way everyone knows exactly what's going on as it happens, in case anyone is curious. I think that's what's going to happen. Because there comes a point where you just learn to fight. You learn to say it's not fair, and I'm not going to take it, and I'm not going to be okay with it. I understand this is the way that you may run your house. This is the way you may run your world. This is the way you may run whatever you've been in charge of. But it's not the way you run Sharon Naomi Freeman. It's not. All that they have provided me is a form on how to file Virginia unemployment. That's it. They haven't even given me a letter of termination. They have emailed me. They have said, this is going to be your letter of termination. And if you don't stop me with a letter of resignation, you need to give me a letter of resignation, or I'm going to submit your letter of termination. And I'm sitting here like, go for it. Go for it. Fire me. I am not backing down. I am not stopping. I am not crying. And I am not hurting. If you want, you can do every evil thing in your chest. Do it and be happy about it. But do not expect me to co-sign it. Do not expect me to sit here and be okay with it. No. No. It's not happening. No. You do what you want. Do everything that you want. Do it. I'm not going to stop you, and I'm not even going to be upset. I'm going to fight the best way I know how with the internet, because I'm a millennial. talk. I'm going to show up to work tomorrow. I'm going to show up to work every single day for the next 5 days until they give me some kind of letter. Till they tell me, hey, Sharon, you're not allowed here. On paper. Yeah. Paper. It's a new invention. It came after the Jurassic Age. After you were born. There's such thing as paper. But, honestly, I just wanted to make this video to kind of blog the basics of what happened last week. My job is trying to fire me without giving me any kind of notice, any reasoning, or anything. And in Virginia, it's an at-will state, so hey, they can totally do that. The only thing that they're violating is Mason policy. So, in the state of Virginia, Virginia law isn't going to really help you if you work for an institution that has its own policies. I don't think so. But hey, you do you, boo. Anyways, again, I'm just blogging this. No one's gonna see it. No one's gonna care. But you know what? I'm gonna say it loud and proud. Civil disobedience can get you hella far. And if that means that I go to jail, guess what? Some great men have gone to jail. Some great men have sat their ass on a concrete slab for my right. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Because I would be more ashamed of myself if I sat here and I feared some dumbasses. Just dumbasses. Instead of standing up for what I know people have fought for me. It would be stupid of me to just turn my back and say there's no one. There's no help. This is America. And as long as I am here, and as long as Trump does not tear down the hierarchy, the government, and everything else, as long as he stops working for Russia, one day, I'm going to rely on the rules that have been set in place and the martyrs and the people who have put themselves out there, They did that. And it would be stupid of me to turn my back and say there's no one fighting for me. Because someone's already fought for me. Someone's already done this. Somewhere. They've already stood up. All I have to do is plant my feet on the ground and do the same damn thing. So, that was a really long explanation of my past week. All the tears, panic attacks, sleepless nights, not answering DMs, not answering messages, because I have been in a state of pure panic. Yeah. And I'm still here. And I will live to fight another day. So yeah, I hope that on some level that helped somebody in the world, even if it was just me, because I'm kind of somebody too. Okay. I'm done here. Peace, love, hair grease, Jesus Christ, and the whole cross. Bye, guys.